Hey folks, Jeff here at Backcountry. Appreciate you stopping by the channel today. Well, if you've been following along, you might have noticed that maybe I kind of ghosted my channel a little bit lately. Well, there's a reason for that. Been dealing with a bit of a disaster. Let me show you what's been going on. So this is inside of my house in San Antonio. I had to abandon my property and all my projects going on to come back here and deal with a major crisis. This here is the master bedroom, and as you can see, it is gutted. The walls are the drywall cut out about 2 feet up all the way around. Everything gutted. This is where the bathroom vanities were, gutted. Master bathroom, gutted. Walk-in closet, gutted. Walking out here into the hallway, closet, gutted. Office, gutted. Hallway, there was a linen cabinet here, gutted. Master bathroom, gutted. Another bedroom, gutted. Other bedroom, yep, you guessed it, gutted. Closet, gutted. The entire house, gutted. All of our stuff, gone. House gutted. Kitchen appliances out here in the dining room, but otherwise gutted. Kitchen, you guessed it, gutted. So the entire house had to be gutted. All the drywall 2 feet up, removed. Cabinets, everything gutted. And this is what we've been doing for the last couple weeks. We had to pack up all of our belongings, furniture, everything, move it out, pack it, move it, storage, etc. And the house had to be totally gutted. So you may wonder, well, why would you do something like that? Well, we didn't do it for fun, I'll tell you that much, because it has not been fun. This has been a major ordeal. We've been going non-stop for weeks now to get to this point. So let me tell you what happened. So basically, Google Fiber has been installing their fiber optics in San Antonio for quite some time now. And I mean, we've got Google Fiber, it's awesome. So I'll show you here. There's my Google Fiber stuff right there. It's still running. Here's the fiber line coming in, running to the little box, whatever you want to call it, router or whatever. And then it goes out via network cable to a wireless transmitter, and this is all gigabit service, and it is super fast, got plenty of bandwidth to do whatever. It is best internet I've ever had, and it's basically about $72 a month is my bill out the door. So it's cheaper than anything I've had, and for gigabit speed, that's just phenomenal. So nothing against Google Fiber, they're awesome, love the product, but unfortunately they've been having a lot of problems with their fiber network, and they had to do some work on it. So let me take you out and show you what they've been doing. So you see these little flags running along, that's the fiber optic buried, and that box right there is where all the fiber optics run in. And you know, they do whatever they do to connect them all up, run out to houses, etc. So this line runs all the way along the street. The original fiber optic was ran right along the edge here in the pavement, under the pavement, And the problem was when they were working on the streets and stuff, the fiber kept getting damaged because it wasn't buried deep enough. So finally they brought in the horizontal drills. They drilled underground and they ran it the right way with conduit and everything deep underground. So basically the line, the property line for the between my property and supposedly what the city owns, or their right of way, however it works, is basically right along here, and you can see the line of the driveway over there where they just poured new concrete there, and you see this little green cap right here. So this green cap is a clean out to the sewer that wasn't there before. But when they drilled the fiber optic line, they literally drilled right through the middle of our sewer line. Here's the picture of what the sewer line looked like. So they drilled through that line, and we weren't the other one. They got one of our neighbors as well. We weren't the only ones. So disaster on the street. And apparently over here you've got the water meter box, and so there were water lines under here, and basically when they came through, there was a leak on a water line on the city side. Now we don't know if that was caused by the drill or if that was their previous. We get conflicting stories, we don't know. But this is just our theory. You know, we don't even know if this is exactly what happened, but we believe there was a leaky water line, and that water line took the path of least resistance, and basically when they drilled through our sewer line, the water flowed into the sewer line and created a continuous backflow into the house. So when they drilled through the line, it created a you know, a blockage, and the sewer backed up. And so I get a phone call from my son, and he said, hey, your sewer line's backed up, what do you want me to do? And I told him, go to Home Depot, rent a snake, the big, you know, plumber snake, and run that down this clean out. So this was under the kitchen sink, and you can see there that we've got that clean out right there. So when he opened up that clean out to run the snake, first thing is you started getting backflow. So sewage backed up and basically started flooding the kitchen. But he was persistent, ran the snake down, and you know, the water subsided, and he thought he got it cleared. And so this was you know, late at night, in the evening, whatever. He cleared all that and then took the snake back, and after he took the snake back, well, the water started backing up again through the toilets and basically blew the seals out under the toilets. And so they discovered that, yeah, we didn't get the blockage. So discussing it, we theorized that the way the sewer lines run is on this side of the house. You can see there is where the toilet sits. That hooks into the main sewer line, and on this side, well, under that bucket right there, there's another toilet line, and you can see that round line right there that I believe is a vent line or the main sewer. Everything basically flows into that, so that sits behind the master bath toilet. Anyway, if you think in terms of plumbing, rough plumbing, you know, that all goes underground to a main 4-inch line. So in other words, that line then runs basically straight along here underneath the slab and comes out the front of the house. I want to say approximately 5 feet in from the edge of the house, and it's down, you know, 4 or 5 feet. So anyway, just theorizing, that tells us that if the main line runs along this side of the house, Then we have several feet to run from the other side of the house where the kitchen is. And so we theorized that, okay, the snake probably isn't reaching the main line to clear it. And since it's backing up through the toilets, that tells us the main line is clogged. So let's pull a toilet so that we're closer to the main line. And so we told them to pull this toilet here in the master bath because my kids were both here using the other bathroom, and hopefully they could pull this one and run the snake down here and get all the way out to the street to clear it. So he did that, and of course, you know, it continued to backflow into the house and continued to flood over on this side of the house. Just, you know, making a mess. Water, sewer water basically, which they consider category 3 wastewater. So anyway, it backflowed, and then they ran the snake and everything and basically hit something, an obstruction that would not clear. So at that point we decided, yeah, there's something bigger going on. And then he told me, well, Google had been drilling out front. Maybe that has something to do with it. And we kind of had an oh shit moment. And so we called Roto-Rooter. The Roto-Rooter guys come out and they say it'll be, you know, $480 to snake it. And but if we don't clear the obstruction, then it's only half price, so $240. Well, we didn't even want them to snake it because we'd already done that, and we knew that we just needed to locate the obstruction at this point, run their camera, whatever. But that's the way they do it. So they ran their snake, they hit the same obstruction, bing, $240. And then they left, and we're like, oh, that's great. You're not going to do the other, oh, well, my camera or whatever isn't working. I got to come back tomorrow. So basically, the thing continued to flood all night long. And the next day they come back. They this time it was another 600 and some odd dollars to run their fancy camera with the locator. And so they ran that to the obstruction. And then they take their little device out and they locate it. And then they basically said, well, it's over the property line, so we're done. You got to call the city. Yeah, great. So then we called what's called SAWS, which is the San Antonio, I don't know if that's water supply, water system, something, whatever. Anyway, they came out, they looked at it, and they debated back and forth of, you know, whether it was on our property or their property. But it's so close to the line that, I mean, you'd literally have to have a survey to determine the exact spot of where the drill went through it and whose side of the property it's on, whatever. You can debate it either way. And so the foreman just kind of said, well, we're here, we'll do it. And so they dug it up, and, you know, you saw the picture of the damage. And they fixed the pipe, they put in the clean out. And, you know, then it all got turned over to the insurance. The insurance told us to go ahead and let the water mitigation crew come in, and this is what they did. So basically any place that sewer water comes in contact with, by code, has to be removed. And so they've removed, you know, all the drywall and everything, because the bathrooms were flooding. The water is coming out here, and this was all carpet. So imagine that water is underneath the carpet, under the pad, just running as far as it wants to run. So they just start tracking, you know, where they find the water, using water meters and everything, and then they start removing stuff. And you know, some places, basically if they remove one side of the wall, then technically they got to remove the other side of the wall too, because the problem is that if you don't do this correctly, and even worse, because this is, you know, sewer water, if you don't do this, if you don't remove everything and bring in the dehumidifiers, that's another thing. So for a couple weeks we had dehumidifiers everywhere in here. There were air scrubbers. There were HEPA filters, you know, all kind of stuff running, cleaning the air, drying everything out, and making sure that everything is 100% dry. And they're coming in every day with meters, checking the how wet everything is, how the humidity is, you know, to make sure that this is 100% dry when they're done. Because when this is all said and done, they got to issue certificates, you know, saying that this was done right for the liability and everything. Because if we would have ignored this and just dried it ourselves with fans and whatever, and cleaned everything and bleached and whatever, ripped out the carpets and replaced that, it doesn't matter, but left the walls, what could happen is, you know, you won't see anything at all. But say 5 years down the road, all of a sudden you get like a black spot appear on your wall, and that black spot is black mold that's growing, and by the time it appears on the outside of the wall, your entire wall is infected. It could be growing all the way up into your attic and everything, and then your entire house has to be 100% gutted down to the studs. Everything has to be mitigated, disinfected, etc. And guess what? Your insurance won't pay it because you failed to meet your obligation to take care of the residents and to, you know, go follow the proper procedures in accordance with code, etc., to take care of that. So you become liable down the road, and you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, we have no idea how much this is going to cost when it's all said and done. I mean, so far I can tell you that we're around $35,000, and that's just for the water mitigation, all this, you know, demo, whatever you want to call it, and the water mitigation, the rental of all the dehumidifiers and all that kind of stuff, as well as the original Roto-Rooter bills for, you know, going the drain, doing the location and all that kind of stuff. So over $35,000, and we haven't even started the rebuild yet. So this week we've got our insurance adjuster coming in together with our contractor, and they're just going to walk through and they'll negotiate everything on the rebuild. The bad thing is that, you know, the previous homeowner that built all this stuff, it's all top notch. I mean, this, the cabinets, everything, this is all solid wood. I believe it's oak. Quality stuff, not junk, not press board. There's nothing in here that was shortcutted. The carpeting and the pad was high quality. Everything was high end. And you know, so now that's all got to be negotiated out, so to see how much the insurance will agree to pay to put this place back together. And you know, oh, and when I say $35,000, oh, that doesn't include the pack out. That doesn't include, we're staying now in an Airbnb for a minimum of 3 months, which that's over $5,000 a month. Insurance is paying all that. And I will tell you folks, just a plug for our insurance company, we have USAA insurance, and I'll tell you, it's expensive. I don't like the price, the amount that I pay, but I'll tell you what, right now it's paying for itself. And when I talked to my contractor, he even told me, he said, yeah, he said, we deal with, this is all they do. And he said, we deal with this all the time, and we deal with every insurance company out there. And he said, when people ask me about insurance, I tell them the same thing. There's USAA, and then there's everybody else. USAA, as far as taking care of claims and dealing with the issue, is one of the best insurance companies out there. They cover their people, they take care of their clients, but they are expensive. You do pay for that. So there's a trade-off in everything. Maybe you never need it, and so it's not a big deal, but when you do, by golly, you want them to be there. So that was not a paid advertisement for USAA. That's just my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. But, you know, that's just my experience there. So anyway, that's where we're at. That's where we've been. And hopefully this week we get good news as far as what the rebuild is going to entail. It's been a lot of work to get to this point. we've been in here constantly packing stuff out, and then after everything was done, we went through and cleaned this entire place, swept up all the debris and dust, scraped the floors where there was just stuff built up, whatever, and you know, got it ready for contractors to come in here and do work and make a mess again, I guess. But you know, that's a standard of work. I prefer to do it right and make sure that everything's done right. So I'm not going to skimp on the quality of the work. I'll be in here checking on contractors, etc., and making sure this is done to my standard all the way. But it's going to keep me away from the property for I don't know how long. I intend to get back up there and square some stuff away, but at least for the interim, I'm going to be dealing with this crisis. So appreciate you all sticking with us. Appreciate you watching our videos, supporting our channel, and keeping us in your prayers, because let me tell you, this has been stressful. It's been a lot of work, and this is not something that anybody ever wants to deal with, but you know, like always, whatever comes at us, we roll with the punches and we deal with it. Even old Whiskey is hanging in there, and he comes to work with us every day here at the house as we've been working, and you can see that he's just wore out from supervising. Isn't that right, Whiskey? You wore out, buddy? Yeah? That's right. Attaboy. Anyway, folks, appreciate y'all. Take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.